Hey guys, Sam, the media manager here at Olsen Motorsports. Last week, Tim figured out that our Porsche SC that we've been working on had a bent exhaust valve stem. So we got to get that thing out there and we got to rebuild the engine. So this week, we're taking that engine out. It's a long video, but it's a good video and I think super informative. So Tim, take it away.
All right, so first things first, I got the engine oil drained out, I've got the oil tank drained out, and then I've got the, what I do is a little trick so this doesn't stop dripping. I've got my drain pan with I just put some pig mat in there so if something drips, it doesn't splash and get dirt all over the floor. So what I do is I just take bags. I take bags and zip tie them around the lines and I throw pig mat in here into the oil cooler. What that does is it tries to keep it not being such a mess. So I gotta take this oil filter, this oil line off. So let's grab that really quick, which that's gonna be a 30 and a 32. So let's run over here and let's grab our 32 and let's grab our 30. And we'll get this guy busted off. These things can be really tight, depending on the age of the vehicle and how crazy somebody got with them. So let's get that guy off of there. Pull that down a little bit, let it drain. While it's draining, we'll go on to other stuff. So course of action is we'll do a visual inspection really quick on the health of things. I'm gonna grab my light on here so everybody can see. It's juicy. So it's super juicy, that's why we're pulling this out. Remember, this is the one that had the broken, quote unquote, broken head stud that the customer advised us was happening. So I think what we'll do now, we'll come back here, we'll get these off, we'll get the axle off, we'll get the throttle cables disconnected. From that, these things can get kind of juicy and they're susceptible to rust, so sometimes it's hard to get these little fellas off. We'll get that pulled off. Oh, look at that. We got some Home Depot repairs on that starter. That's interesting. I wonder if the end broke off or what. Maybe once we get that engine out, we'll take a look up there. That's the signal that tells the starter to turn on. So, yeah, and that's really thin gauge wire. So, I think we should have a talk with the guy about that. That's really thin gauge wire. It's like a Home Depot style repair on that one. So let's grab a 13, quarter drive 13, and we'll pull that guy off of there. Get up in there, I've already got the battery disconnected. We're not throwing any sparks at ourselves. So that gets the starter cable off. And this is the one that goes up to the battery. We'll leave that starter cable on. And then I think the next thing we'll do, we'll pull the axles off. Axles is gonna be a 6mm. And then we're gonna need a 3/8 drive and a short extension here. And then we'll also need a screwdriver to throw in the rotor. 6mm guys off. What I do is I just can't see. There we go. Oh, those weren't even tight. Let's see. That one is. Not really. Not really tight. Yeah, those are all loose. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and grab the gun, and where are my glasses? I think that's the 6mm. That's a 7. So we'll grab the gun and we'll spin these guys off because they did not seem very tight. So we'll use the gun and then we'll use a little wobble socket. And I should be able to spin these guys out pretty quick. That helps we go the right direction, right? So, get these guys spun out of here. Those weren't even tight. That's a good thing we're gonna help this guy out and get this car sorted out for him. You don't need a lot of torque on these. I think it's like 30. That one was tight. I think the torque on these is 32 or 35 foot-pounds. It's not much. I have to look it up in service data. We'll spin these axles off. We'll kind of get them out of our way. See what this side's tight or not. Not terrible. These little guns, they got some, even though it's quarter drive, they got a fair amount of torque to them. So if you just hit the trigger, they'll usually pop them loose. Get 2 more of these. I think there's 6. That one's tight. So at least one of them was held on, huh? I'm gonna have to go get come back to that little fella and try him again. No. So we had one holding it on. That's a good thing. So I always rotate that up to the top, and as long as you're at TDC, then you can usually get this guy in there. Come on, little fella, let's go. That wasn't terrible. So we'll get our axles out, and then we can focus on getting the starter out. The starter is going to be the 10mm long Allen, which we'll grab that back here. Try not to hit you guys on the We'll pull that bottom one out, and then the top one, we'll get the top one when the engine is coming down. It's a whole lot easier to access from that angle. All right, so we got the starter off, we got the axles off, we got the heater tubes off. Next, we gotta come out here and get our throttle cable off. So let me grab this little guy off of here. That should help us out. Yeah. We'll disconnect it from up top first, then we'll come back down here and do that. So we've got, take our reverse light. This is a speed diff, and look at that. Somebody actually did a repair on this and did a pretty bad job because I just pulled the wires out. Look at that. So got a couple little small things we can tidy up for this guy. Let's grab the ground strap off here. So the ground strap comes off. I like to put these nuts back in the location that they came from, just so I'm not fumbling around. I have a pretty good idea of where they go after doing them so many times, but I dropped my washer. I got a pretty good idea of where all this stuff goes. I've done enough of them that it's not the end of the world. So besides our throttle cable, and then this stuff right here, what we can do now is we'll bust off our sway bar, our anti-roll bar links. We'll bust those off. Where's my gun? So that's gonna be a 19. Grab a 1/2 inch to 3/8 and a 19. We'll sneak that guy in there. Sneak that guy in there. All right, that one's out. And then we'll bust this guy out. Throw these in our tray down there. And then we'll take this guy down, which is a 13. So grab our 3/8 on a 13. Grab this sway bar down. Oh, that's tight. One was tight and one wasn't. Imagine that. So, that was tight. We'll just bust these guys loose. That was not tight. Come on. There we go. So, trying not to hit ourselves in the head here. With that. So I use these little Rubbermaid roll around guys. They work pretty good. Hey, there's our sway bar. All right, let's go put this on the shelf now that we have a dent in our back. All right, so anti-roll bar is off. All this is good to go. We've got our cable up to there. And then that guy comes down into here, and that's our reverse. So we need to get our reverse light out. And it's tricky up in here. So what I tend to do is I grab a little pair of needle noses. Which one are we gonna use? Let's use these bent handles. These bent handles work pretty good. We'll reach up in here. Grab these guys, pull them out. You don't ever, these are so fragile, you don't ever want to pull them just by the wires. So I always try to use a little bit of TLC when I'm taking those guys out. They're fragile. All right, so that clears that. I think what we'll do now is we'll put our bags over those lines. I'll show you that process. I just take some zip ties and some bags now that we're drained. Just, you know, like these are from Uline, it's just a parts bag. You go like this. Let me get our oil dump out of here. I can't see with my glasses. Then we'll get our oil dump out of here and go down and get our shifter and the top end of the engine. pulled apart. Forgot a bag. I don't know what it pays to pull the engine out. Probably 5 hours or something like that would be pay to pull it out, but once you know what you're doing and if you have all the special tools to get it done fast, you can bang it out relatively quickly. So we got our bags here, we got a bag there. Now we can lose our oil dump and we should be good to go. So I think the next course of action is we'll tie these lines up, get them out of our way so they stop dripping. I'm just gonna take this one, tie it up out of the way. This is the oil cooler hose. Tie that one up and get it out of our way. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. We'll tie it back to this hose we just secured. That'll kind of keep it elevated and get it out of our way. These are just Jippo branded zip ties. One-time use. That should be good. I think we'll be good to go. Go ahead and lower this thing down and wash our hands. We'll jump in the interior. We'll get the gear shift lever off with that. So the only thing we have left to do down here is throttle cable. And then we're gonna jump up inside. We're gonna pull the gear shift lever off there. And then we'll pull our clutch lever system off too. All right, so let's get this thing down and we'll jump inside. Next thing we gotta do, we gotta jump in that interior, pull the carpet back. There's a cover that covers up the shifter. We're gonna get that cover off. If I remember correctly, it is screws, Phillips head screws, and then it's also, I think it's either a 13 or a 10. I think it's a 13 that holds the pinch bolts on that. So let's go grab some inside the car screwdrivers. So let's go ahead and grab that. And then let's grab, we have our 13 out already. Let's make sure that's wiped down. I don't want to take any greasy fingerprints, and we'll grab a 10 as well. And then we're gonna grab our glasses because we're getting old. So let's jump in here and see. Yeah, there's our cheese heads here. So you can bust these guys out. There shouldn't be a lot of tension or torque on these at all. It's just a cover plate, probably missing the gasket underneath it. But we'll see. Got that guy, we'll put that guy over some zip ties. Yeah, zip ties and a torn boot. So they didn't bother to cut the zip ties, they cut that instead. So let's grab a plastic cutter. It's the things you find in old 80s cars. Different repairs that people do. We'll cut that little guy off of there. Come on. All right, that's why they cut that. So yep, this is a 13. Hopefully we can get it without that. We need another 13. This is the part of bad memory. You work on so many different cars and it's super difficult to remember what every nut and bolt is, and you take all the tools with you one time. That's the goal. Take the tools with you one time, and then you don't have to make multiple trips back to the box. So we'll pull this guy out of here. And this is a pinch, so it should just slide. Pop that guy in gear. Come on, baby, let's go. Yeah, pop that guy in gear, and then we'll come back into neutral. And then what we need to do is we need to take that set screw out which is a 4mm. See, another trip to the toolbox because we forgot that was a 4mm. We'll take that union off. You could probably leave it in, but we're under some tight spaces and pretty severe angles to get this box out anyways. So I like to just pop this joint off. There's no need to have it staying in. So pop that set screw off, set it on our tray, pop that guy off, and then we should be good to go. We'll pop this guy off too. Actually, I don't think we need to. I think we can leave it on. We shouldn't tear it taking it out. So cover that back up, shifter's out. We'll close our doors, and then we can start getting on with getting on in the engine bay. So first thing we'll take off is fuel. So we need a 17, a 19, and then a couple of lights. Pop a light, come on, man. We'll pop a light in there, and then pop a light in there. And we need to grab our fender covers so we don't scratch anything. And we need to grab a flathead screwdriver. Let's use this one. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy off of here. We'll pop this off of this air cover, and then he's got the old strap there. I'll tell you what, if you're a Porsche guy, one of your must-have tools is one of these guys. So this is Snap-on FXLM 10. They make a 10 and a 13 from way back in the day, and they're just the perfect small profile for all these little 10mm screws, 13mm screws, a lot of them in the engine tins down here. It's just an invaluable tool to have. So we'll pop that guy off of there. So the bottom of that one just slides down. This comes up. We'll pop that into our holder there. Come on, little fella, stay in there. All right. So that's that. This one can stay. And the next thing we'll do, we'll take our engine harness. Let's see what kind of surprises are shoved in here for us. You never know, you open up an electrical panel and it's like opening up Pandora's box. We'll shove that guy down in there. We'll take our electrical connector, I think it's a 14-pin electrical connector off of there. And then this is still CDI box. Unplug that. Get that CDI harness out of here. Tuck that back. Look at this. Wow. So this is the fuel line. It looks like they made a repair here, and they didn't even get it on the barbs. Wow. That's unbelievable. So grab a 10mm, and where's our purple ratchet? Grab a 10mm and our index ratchet. Bring that 13 with us. And we'll bring this 10 with us over here. Bust this ground off, which is actually in the wrong spot, but let's see. Pretty sure that ground does not go there. Pretty sure that ground goes back here behind the CDI box. I don't know why they had it grounded there. It's interesting. Things you find along the way. And then we need a 17 and a 19. Misspoke. We need a double 19. Let's see how tight that is. It's pretty tight. So let's grab another 19 for this bottom. I tell you what, these little 4-way angled wrenches are pretty nice because you can get into some pretty tight spots with them. That's excessively tight. All right, so I think what we're gonna do, if you need to put this much leverage on something, wow. Well, at least that wasn't coming loose. It might have come loose with the, it might have come loose here and then started a fire, but it wasn't coming loose off the fuel filter, that's for sure. Wow, it's truly unbelievable. So we got the fuel filter, or the fuel filter line to the car, and then the next thing we need to take off is, this is the accumulator supply that's coming out of the accumulator. We need to take that accumulator supply off, which, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be a 15 and a 17. So let's grab, see how tight that is. Let's see how tight this guy is. See if we can't bust this off. Come on. Get in there. Let's see. Well, that wasn't terrible. That was torqued properly. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab some pig mat, throw some pig mat under here. There's a fair amount of fuel in this accumulator, and it just kind of keeps us from wearing it later. Pop this guy down. All right, so that's that off. We'll shove this guy in here. And the next thing we need to take off is, remember I said we need to get that bell off the starter. So just grab one of these guys, get it in here, give it a little twist, pop that guy off. Try not to scratch ourselves. Pop it off the bottom. This little fella got me. All right, so then that's all off. This is off. We got that off. Look at that. The O2, the single wire O2, it just basically disintegrated right in front of me. So I think when we get that back out, we'll have a look at that. So this is, what's part number is this? SGB4B. It's got the perfect little short handle to get these hose clamps off in these engine bays. It really works well. Something about having the right tool for the job goes a long way, especially when you're selling time, and time is money. It's a big deal. So grab a hose plier, see if we can't yank that guy off of there. Might need two of them. Get that guy in there, work it off. So then that guy's worked off. And then you've got the one more fuel line back here, and I'm hoping that one's not mega tight because there's not a lot of access back there. So let's see. See if we can get it one-handed. We can't get it one-handed. It'll be time to get cut up. It's a 17. Come on, baby, be kind to us. We're gonna cut that line and be done with that. We're not gonna sit there and fight around with it. So let's grab a pair of cutters. Which ones are we gonna use? Let's grab these guys. They're hiding from me in the corner. All right, let's reach in there. We'll just snip this line and deal with it another day. Come on. Come on, baby. Be kind to us. There we go. All right, we're gonna cut that line. And we will be replacing that. It's not safe. It's so hard. So hard. It's not flexible. It's not pliable. All right, so all of that's off. And then on this side, what we have to get off, turn our light off, go the other way with it. What we need to get off is we need to get off these little hoses here. So let's grab another screwdriver. A little short guy, a couple little short guys, and we'll get that off. So I'm gonna grab this little guy, I'm gonna grab this little guy. So different sizes here will help us out. Throw some light in here, and then we'll contort ourselves. Get this guy off of here. Let's use this longer one. Use this longer one to get behind that hose. Yeah, that was the ticket. You can never have enough screwdrivers of different lengths and different sizes. It takes all the struggle and aggravation out of doing the job. Can't have enough. So, let's see how tight this guy is on here. Yeah. Come on. That's excessive. Let's see if we can get the other side off. I was hoping we could wrench that guy out of there so we don't have to get a pick in there. Let's see. Let's see if maybe this other side comes off easier. Come on. I think people don't know. They just say 1, 2, 3. Look at this. The engine's out of the car. I don't think they ever show the struggle sometimes that you have to go through to get some of these old cars apart. All right. So then we need one more screwdriver. Here, let's grab this guy. We need to grab this oil filter housing breather off. So grab that guy off of there. If I can see it. Come on. I think if you talk dirty to it, The hose clamp magically comes off. All right, so then that's off. That's off. So we got those 3 guys off. All right. 1, 2. That's the AC. And then this is a breather that comes off the engine. And I think we got a breather off the back of that charcoal canister. Where does that guy go? And what we need to do now is we need to scratch that off. We need to get this circlip off, back that guy out. Look at all this grease. That's crazy. At least they put grease on it. So let's grab, what should we grab first? Let's grab this 10 mil. Let's back off 13. Sorry, 13. Let's grab that. Back off this clutch adjustment. Oh. So let's back that guy off. That's the stop. And then let's grab a pair of pliers. We'll pull this screen off. Or spring, I should say. Come on, baby. Do me one favor, don't fly across the room here, bud. Yep. Grab that off, throw it in our, make that one our clutch. So now we got that guy off. Let's grab another 13 here. And let's take loose our clutch adjuster. It's not a 13. Okay. I see how you're gonna do me there. I see what you're throwing down there, buddy. I see what you're throwing down. 15. Look at that. And it's not very tight, is it? So we'll throw this guy up in here. We're gonna get ourselves some slack on that cable. We need to pull this out of the box. Do the same on this side. Yeah. Time to grab a speed handle and make speedy work of this. Now, we should pull that guy out of there, get this guy off, pull that out of the way, and then let's grab a circlip pliers. Grab a light that we can actually stick here so we can see what we're doing. And then let's pull that guy off of there. Put that in our clutch bin. And then we should be able to pull this guy down. And then that'll get us off of there. Yep. Yep. You be careful with those. Those are knuckle busters. Absolute knuckle busters. Okay, so that's off of there. And then we still need to get our clutch. Actually, you know what? We don't need to get our clutch cable disconnected. So we're taking this engine and gearbox out as one. So we can do that actually on the bench. We got this one disconnected, that one disconnected, the hose is disconnected. And then, yeah, we'll be able to do this all in the box. So now we're gonna be kind of a contortionist. What we'll probably do now is we'll just break these guys free so it's easier for us. Let's grab a long guy so we can get parallel. We'll break these guys free here so that when we're down on the ground, that wasn't very tight. So that when we're down on the ground, we got a much easier, not to struggle to bust something loose. Now we're ready to come out. Sweet. That wasn't terrible. Get this guy out of the way. And then we'll grab our engine table. No, like if you're doing like a 964 or something else, these engines you have to come out on an angle. They're kind of a pain in the butt. If you're doing like a 964 or something like that, you don't have to work on your back. So get this guy in position, and then we'll get our quick jack up. Want it to kind of be at its tallest point, like so. Get that under here. We'll probably have to come like this. Lower that guy down. So what we need to do is we got to come out at like a 20 something or 30 something degree angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this jack under here like this. Then I'm going to raise this up, get it set on my headers with my angle off of there, and I'll drop this one down. Keep that angle. It's got to come out, and this little pivot, the gearbox shaft or the shifter shaft has to come out on an angle. So we got to drop it down, wheel it back, and come out on an angle. So it's kind of a hard one to pull, but we'll get it done. We'll get it done. So that's probably good. Let's make sure we're, almost lost my head mount there. Let's make sure we're kind of centered, which is important. We'll hold that guy like that. Put a little pressure on. And then we'll get this guy up in there. We want to be right at the edge of the bell housing because later on we're going to pull that gearbox off. So we want to be centered and on the edge of that bell housing. Let's get this over off that exhaust flange. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I come out like this, find a center in my table, center of the fan, kind of go in like that. Get it up there. Somewhere about there I'm cool with. We'll give it a little bit of a jack. And then we'll pull our, we'll grab a 19 and we'll pull off our engine studs. So those are just bolted through. There's no nuts on the bottom. You see how that engine dropped? That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Now is when you take a quick little discount double check. Make sure you got all your stuff here. That would have hung us up. That bracket or that amazing fuel line stuck back there on that bracket. Tuck this guy up and out of the way. Back up in there. This is out. That's all good to go. It's important to do this, especially if you're like me and you work by yourself. It's important to check a couple of different times. Make sure that you got everything, especially when you start lowering engines down. Get this tucked out of the way. Yep. This guy, these bolts out of here. What I'll do is I'll just stick both of them in there so I don't lose those washers. And then we'll run underneath. We'll grab our 3/8. We'll grab our 19, wherever she went, which is right here. And then we'll pop those guys off. So, come on, baby. There was one. He'll reach around. Come on. There's two. All right. So she's loose. She's loose and ready to party. So what we'll do now is we'll start coming down with that. Go up with the car a little bit and come down. This is the longest part of the job, in my humble opinion. This is the longest part of the job. It's getting this bad boy out of there. So you're gonna jack up like this so you hit a little bit of resistance. Then you're gonna reach in here and grab my remote guy here. We'll come down a little bit. Hair trigger on this guy. Come on, baby. Yeah, hair trigger. Make sure we're good here. Guess what? We forgot our second electrical connector, which is up here. Pull that guy off. That all looks good back there. So we need to get down below this fan. So now we'll go up with our engine a little bit more. Up with the car. To bump this, I use a combination of all three. All right, so there. A little pressure up there. Get that jacked up again. You can see here where our fan housing is. Push forward just a little bit. Push that in there. And I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna come down just a little bit more. I wanna be careful, I wanna clear this fan housing on the engine side here. So drop that down. I'm almost clear. That's pretty good. And then we go back and rinse and repeat. So that should be getting close here. So we can go up with the car a little, or go up with the thing a little bit. So now what we can do is just do a quick peek in here. Make sure all these wires are good to go, which they are. We got no little hangers. Nothing that's gonna cause us to bind when we come back, right? And then what I'm gonna wanna do is, I'm gonna wanna double check in here. Yep. So now I can come back a little bit. So we'll do this. Come back. Here. Come on, baby. Kind of bamboozled ourselves here, didn't we? We need to be able to slide that back. Almost there. About another 2 inches. So we push this guy back there. Then we'll pull our engine back a little bit. Make sure this is out of the way. Make sure this is out of the way. We got our throttle cable. Isn't hung up, so now we can come back with it. You can see how we are here with the engine. We got a pretty severe angle. That's about where we need to be. And then we'll pull this guy back a little bit. Double check that. We're so close. So close to being home. So close to being home. See where we need to be. So let's try to push this guy back. I might have just done it. Yep. I think we'll be close to clearing. I think we'll be close. Bump this lift up a little bit. That looks good. Nothing hanging. We are just about there. It's nerve-wracking, isn't it? But that's what it takes. That's gonna clear. This is out of here. Sorry for the long dissertation, folks, but not the easiest engine to take out, especially when you're by yourself. Yep. Yep. Another 1/2 inch. I think we got it. I think we got it. Yep, she's all clear. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drop this guy down. Here, get her laying flat back on the table. Clear my axle on that side, which is now bound up. Oh my God. Let's pull it back this way a little bit. We'll unbind that axle. We'll set that up there. Now I think we'll be good to go. I think we'll be good to go. Cooking with gas. Set that on top of our starter. Lower this guy down. And I believe we are clear to send it, right? That's it, folks. She is pulled out. No more hangers. We are good to go. Send it. All right, so that is how you pull an engine out of an SC.
Hey guys, Sam, the media manager here at Olsen Motorsports. Hope you liked that video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We got stuff coming out every single week. We're gonna have repairs, we're gonna have builds, we're having just cool reels of stuff that we're doing around the shop here. If you have any questions, be sure to email us at info@olsenmotorsports.net and we're gonna get right back to you. And don't worry, that license plate, that's not a real license plate, so I don't have to blur it out like I do the other ones. Not letting out his personal information. There's a guy washing a car over there. I don't know if the phone's picking that up. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's a nice day. I think that's enough. On this week's video. Hey guys, Sam, I'm not gonna fall over. I'm not gonna fall over. On this week's video, I completely overshot it. So, something. I could just do this all day. This is my job. And we are excited to give it to you. I just don't know what the hell I'm saying. Hey guys, Sam, I love these wheels. I am just rambling. Take it away, take it away, take it away now. Take it away.